Hey guys, my name is Jeff, and this is the second generation Milspec Automotive M1, a modern restomod take on the civilian Hummer H1, which cost over $298,000 new in 2020. It features a significant amount of new parts and feature upgrades, and because this is a second generation truck, that means it features the significantly updated interior with a ton of custom billet components, making this truck the one to buy. Speaking of buying, this exact truck is actually for sale as it's heading to auction on Bring a Trailer as offered from Casio Motors. So if you like the things you see in this video as we go through the exterior, interior, powertrain, and of course take it for a drive, you can bid to win this exact truck. First, a little bit of background. Milspec Automotive, a company based out of Michigan, produced Re-Envisioned civilian Hummer H1s, which they called the M1 or Milspec 1. They were available in 3 different body styles, with this particular truck, build number 10, being a convertible pickup truck with a removable soft top. These builds could cost in excess of $298,000 like this truck, and because they took 10 to 12 months produced and didn't build more than 4 a year, they're really rare vehicles to find. Moving on to the exterior, there's a lot to cover as this particular truck is heavily optioned. Starting with the exterior itself is part of the MSA Works Design paint package, which means this truck has this special textured magnetic gray finish that looks absolutely fantastic. Moving on to the front of the vehicle, we have LED lighting everywhere. So not just the front, which have these cool halo finish to them, the LED lighting also goes to the sides with these low profile side markers, the rear taillights, and you'll also find LED lighting on the inside as well. We also have this absolutely massive brush guard. This was an additional option that was added on this particular vehicle. We do have the winch package, which gives us this big X2O performance winch in the front of the vehicle along with some tow rings. And then as we come to the side, we have perhaps the most exciting package, which is that bold body package. That added these bolt-on 3.5-inch wide fenders to each side of the vehicle, front and rear, for an additional 7 inches in total width, but the track was also widened 9 inches in width. And then we have these absolutely beautiful 20-inch wheels with Milspec logos in the center, wrapped in massive 38-inch tires, so more to that off-road capability. As we go down, we have our low-profile snorkel with some of our Milspec and Duramax diesel badging. In the center here, we have what is a Milspec trait. We have these steel panel centers that were added in that are sort of there to help protect the hardened aluminum body as well. We have, of course, our mirrors. We have our removable top. We have this massive rigid bar across the top. That was also part of the lighting option package. And then as we move back, of course, we have seating for 4 inside here. And then we have the rear. We, of course, have this big package, which could be part of the Baja package, with a massive spare wheel on the top as well. And we have more of our wide body, some more big tires. And as we come to the back, we also have our optional step bar here, which was an additional option as well, with the option for some side stowage boxes even here in the back rear roll bar. So all in all, a pretty beefy vehicle. Let's see what's going on underneath. Well, it features 18 inches of ground clearance, 7 inches of wheel travel, 42 inches of water fording capability, and then 57-degree approach and then 47-degree departure angle. So that makes the M1 quite the off-road vehicle. On top of that, it has a ton done underneath, as the vehicle was completely disassembled before it was put back together by Milspec Automotive, in which case they have the boxed frame, which has been completely coated and protected. That is then connected to revised A-arms, giving the M1 fully independent suspension, just like the H1, but revised for comfort and quality with heavy-duty coil springs and hydraulic shocks as well. So it's a pretty good ride to go along with that. We also have some more heavy-duty components like 12K rated half shafts. We, of course, have our portal axles, which the H1 is famous for, inboard power brakes, power steering, and we have a locking Torsen front differential and air-locking ARB rear differential. We also have some of the things you would expect for off-roading. There's a variety of skid plates and protective plates throughout the truck as well to help protect a lot of those important essentials and make sure that you don't break anything while off-roading. But all in all, just looking at it, it's just as good looking underneath as it is on the top. Moving on to the interior of our Milspec M1. This is where we're going to find some big differences over the other trucks produced, as this is a second generation truck and therefore has all of the beautiful billet pieces that you see on the inside, like our air conditioning vents, for example, are billet and fully adjustable for both the front and the rear. Our toggle switches for the lower here controlling things like our light bars, our heated windshields, and and some of our other accessories are nice clicky billet switches. And then in the top, we have our power locks and power window switches, which, as you can hear, are also very clicky for functioning the vehicle. Our nice heated windshield elements, as we have all new glass in here, which also makes it a bit more soundproof. But to also pair with the ruggedness of the interior, we have a fair amount of marine grade materials as well, like the speaker system, the JL Audio 9 speaker system, which has speakers front and rear, as well as a amplifier and a sub, is a marine grade system. But we also have our seats, which are made of a water resistant material that should make it stand out to the elements in case you get caught outside, which is a fantastic feature to have. The gauges themselves, which has things like boost pressure, trans temperature, and of course a GPS speedometer, all have a billet surround, but are also Milspec branded in the center, which is a very nice quality touch. We do have some of our controls down low for the drive select system here, which is a push button select system, along with a very nice Milspec plaque telling us that this vehicle was assembled in Auburn Hills, Michigan, which is a very cool touch. You also have some audio controls in the rear with some more toggle switches for the windows and cup holders and storage boxes throughout, as well as auxiliary ports. We do have some various handholds here that have this nice leather finish to them. And then we even have our nice secret control knob down low. The secret control knob will actually adjust the power on the fly. So in the lowest setting to the left is 350 horsepower, and turned all the way up to the right is all 500 horsepower and 1,000 pound-feet of torque. Lastly, I think most importantly, is this piece right here, which is the crown jewel of the interior. This is our billet Milspec steering wheel, which has their logo in the center, leather on the outside, and just feels great in the hands. It is really a great talking piece. The pedals could be adjusted if you wanted to, but overall it's fairly comfortable, and it's a great experience inside this Milspec M1. Under the hood is a Duramax LBZ 6.6 liter turbo diesel V8 engine, which is electronically controlled and hand-built by HSP Diesel Performance and Accessories out of Romeo, Michigan. That engine also features a 3.5-inch exhaust system with a performance muffler and design for water fording capabilities, and it even features an EGR emission system. On top of that, it's all paired with an Allison 1000 series 6-speed automatic transmission, which is also paired with a transfer case for 4-wheel drive and features those front and rear locking differentials we talked about earlier. On top of that, the transmission itself was upgraded and features integrated limp mode technologies, along with the fact that it features internal design improvements, which are all good things. This truck weighs around 7,500 pounds, therefore it has a limited top speed of 96 miles per hour, but it'll do a staggering 0 to 60 time of just 6.6 seconds, which is quite impressive. It has a max tow load of 9,300 pounds and features additional goodies like a 12-volt 200 amp alternator, dual batteries with a selector isolation switch, standalone engine harness, interior and exterior self-contained fuse panel, and all of that is run off a 30-gallon chassis mounted fuel tank. The other cool thing it features is a DSP switch tune, so there's a knob in there that you can actually turn, which will adjust the horsepower from 350 horsepower on the low end to 500 horsepower, being that stated rating from earlier. On top of that, everything is very cleanly installed and looks brand new inside this vehicle, and all of the cables are of course even braided and protected, which goes a long way in terms of the overall durability of the vehicle itself. Let's go ahead and drive the Milspec M1, which uses this very dense Formaworks key. So we'll go ahead and start it up. But fortunately, it also features things like the unlock and lock button for the truck as well. So that's a pretty nice feature. Now, in order to drive it, it's going to be a little bit different than your standard H1 because we actually have these push button select here, which tells us what we're gearing, so we can go ahead and drive and shift things around. So let's get moving underway. We'll have the dial turned up so we can have all 500 horsepower and 1,000 pound-feet of torque. And of course the roof is up because it's a fairly nice day here in Phoenix. So let's go ahead and take it for a spin here and talk a bit about it. So it shouldn't come as a surprise. You get lots of diesel noises, and when you get outside, it's actually surprisingly quiet. Even though the top is off, it's still very smooth. There's not too much crazy wind. As you can tell, my hair's not going all over the place, but it's a nice driving experience. And for a truck of this size, it is surprisingly easy to handle, and it's very smooth as well, which for something built to be a combat vehicle, first and foremost, that's quite surprising. But I guess that's what makes the Milspec Automotive M1 stand out from the standard civilian AM General Hummers. So it's quite the interesting vehicle to say the least, and everything feels pretty good too. This steering wheel as well, which is absolutely gorgeous to look at, tends to stand out and feels pretty good in the hands. And you also have a GPS speedometer, which means, let's say you wanted to change the wheels or tires further on down the road, you could, and the GPS speedo wouldn't need to be replaced as it calculates the speed without it. So that's a nice feature of the vehicle as well, and you'll know that it's actually accurate. You do get all your gauges in front of you. The selecting switch is way easier to use than the physical stuff, which would have come on this, and a lot of the push button selectors as well, which would be available on the M1 that stand out a bit as far as the two-wheel or four-wheel drive selection, and of course the drive mode selection as well. So that's just a quick look so you can hear some of the sounds and everything of driving the Milspec Automotive M1. So there you have it. If you're interested in purchasing this Milspec Hummer H1, which sold new in 2020 for over $298,000, be sure to head to Bring a Trailer and check it out as offered from Casio Motors. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, could hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And consider getting subscribed for more content like this in the future. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.